Okay, so have you heard about this? Sheryl Lee Ralph.
From Abbott Elementary?
Yeah. Emmy-winning actress.
Right.
Right. But get this. She and her husband, Pennsylvania State Senator Vincent Hughes, have been married for almost 20 years.
Wow.
And they've never lived together.
Really?
That's right. Separate homes, separate cities, separate careers.
Yeah.
So we're going to deep dive into this article called Life is Good. Sheryl Lee Ralph reveals the key to her 20-year marriage success and try to figure out how they make this work.
I'm intrigued.
Right. You'd think distance would be like a deal breaker, but they've been going strong for like 2 decades.
That's impressive.
And Sheryl is super open about it too. She said, you fall in love with somebody and you realize he's not leaving his career. He's not leaving Philadelphia. I'm not leaving Hollywood.
So it sounds like they've both kind of reached an understanding where they can prioritize their individual ambitions and still be committed to each other.
Exactly. Like they're not trying to fit into this traditional mold, and it seems to be working for them. She talks about visiting each other every other week and making it an occasion.
Oh, nice.
She even says, when I go to see him, I love to see him. When it's time to leave, bye-bye, see you soon. And then she's like, life is good.
Good for her.
Clearly, she's found something special in this setup, right?
Yeah, their approach really challenges the idea that physical proximity equals intimacy. They're choosing to nurture their individual lives and then bring that energy back to the relationship.
Exactly. And she really emphasizes that independence, too. She says, he has his own life. I have my own life. He has his light to stand in. I have my light to stand in. He's doing his thing, and I get to do mine.
That's a really great way to put it.
Yeah.
It highlights a key point about successful partnerships.
What's that?
They're not about merging into a single person,
Right.
but complementing and supporting each other's individual journees.
You're not losing yourself in the relationship.
Exactly.
Now, this whole unconventional setup, this has definitely stirred up some strong opinions.
I bet.
It brings up a big question. What really makes a marriage successful?
Right. Are we defining it by old societal norms? Or by the actual happiness and fulfillment of the partners involved?
Yeah, and some people aren't buying it.
Oh, really?
One critic in the article even says, marriage is meant to be a union, which includes living under the same roof. Please don't glorify this as a marriage standard.
Ooh, so that's representing that more traditional perspective where being together physically is considered absolutely essential to a good marriage.
But there's also a lot of support for their arrangement.
That's good.
Someone else in the article says, the ideal marriage for me is 2 individuals living completely separate and fulfilling lives, but still coming together to maximize their joint slay.
Okay, so that's emphasizing a more modern take.
Yeah.
Where 2 individuals pursuing their passions can actually create a powerful synergy within the relationship.
Right. Another person adds, the nuclear family model has really worked how we view healthy relationships. If this works for them, why judge?
That's a great point.
Right.
We do have this tendency to apply one-size-fits-all rules to relationships, but the reality is far more nuanced.
Yeah.
Ultimately, the happiness and well-being of the individuals involved should be the priority.
Exactly. And Sheryl and Vincent seem happy.
20 years?
Yeah. They're about to hit their 20th anniversary.
Oh, wow.
She even addresses the critics saying, we're about to celebrate 20 years together while some people can't even get through 2.
Oh, snap.
So it really does make you wonder if their unique approach is part of what makes their relationship work.
It could be.
And, you know, the whole taking chances approach. It's not just limited to her marriage.
Yeah.
Sheryl seems to embrace that in all aspects of her life.
Oh, I'd love to hear more about that.
So this story popped into my head. Early in her career, one of her first big breaks was the Skippy peanut butter commercial.
Nice.
But here's the thing. The filming was scheduled right during her college graduation.
No way.
From Rutgers.
What?
Talk about a tough choice.
What'd she do?
She went for the commercial.
Wow.
Skipped the whole graduation ceremony.
Really?
And dove straight into work.
That's bold.
Now that might seem risky to some.
Yeah.
But for Sheryl, it seems like she had this bigger vision.
This decision really showcases Sheryl's ambition and willingness to create her own path.
Right.
It highlights a crucial element of success.
And what's that?
Sometimes you have to break from tradition and seize the moment.
Totally. Even if it means skipping your own graduation.
Exactly.
And get this, the Skippy commercial paid her $30,000.
What?
And she put it all directly into the bank.
Wow. Talk about financial savvy.
Right.
Especially for someone just starting out.
It's like she was playing the long game.
Yeah.
Both with her career and her finances.
Exactly. She understood that financial stability could give her the freedom to pursue her passions without compromise.
It's like she was taking a mini MBA course while building her acting career.
While she was fortunate to be in a position to make that decision,
Right.
It's a great example of how financial literacy empowers people no matter what they do.
Exactly. So we've seen how Sheryl's chosen this unconventional path for her marriage and her career.
Yeah.
And it seems to be working out pretty well.
It's inspiring, isn't it? She's showing us that we don't always have to follow the standard blueprint. There's power in creating a life that truly reflects your values.
It really makes you think about your own non-negotiables in life and relationships.
It does.
What are the things you're willing to bend on, and what are the things you absolutely won't budge on?
Right.
What does success actually look like for you?
These are great questions to consider.
Yeah.
Sheryl's story is a reminder that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to love and life.
Exactly. What matters most is discovering what brings you genuine happiness and fulfillment.
Yeah.
Exactly. Maybe there's something to be said for embracing those unconventional choices, taking those leaps of faith, and figuring out what truly makes your life is good moment.
I think that's a fantastic way to put it. Yeah, it's a powerful message, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially in a world that often pushes us toward conformity. It's inspiring to see someone like Sheryl Lee Ralph embrace her individuality and design a life that really works for her.
Absolutely. And it really makes you wonder if maybe, just maybe, trying to squeeze ourselves into these predetermined molds is what's actually holding some of us back from finding that real happiness.
It's worth considering, isn't it? What if we shifted our focus from meeting those external expectations to really prioritizing what truly matters, like individual growth and authentic connection?
Right. Maybe that's the key.
Yeah.
Now I want to circle back to that story about Sheryl skipping her college graduation for the Skippy commercial.
Oh, yeah?
Was that a bold power move, or was it more of a calculated risk?
I think it was a beautiful blend of both.
Yeah.
It takes serious courage to walk away from such a traditional milestone like graduation.
Right.
But you can also see that strategic thinking at play.
Yeah.
She recognized the potential impact that commercial could have on her career, and she was spot on.
And it paid off not just in terms of career, but financially, too. I mean, putting that entire $30,000 from the commercial straight into savings, that's some next-level financial responsibility.
It really is.
Especially for someone just starting out.
So often we hear about young actors making impulsive choices.
Right.
But Sheryl clearly understood the importance of building a strong financial foundation.
Yeah.
Particularly in an industry known for its ups and downs.
It's like she was playing the long game.
Yeah.
Both with her career and her finances.
Exactly. She understood that financial stability could give her the freedom to pursue her passions without compromise.
It's a fantastic reminder for all of us, no matter what field we're in. Financial literacy is a superpower. Okay, so we've covered Sheryl's unconventional marriage, her bold career choices, and her impressive financial savvy. What stands out to you about her overall attitude?
Her resilience and positivity are striking. She's encountered obstacles throughout her career, but she always seems to bounce back with even more strength and determination, and she never loses that infectious smile.
It's true. She radiates this energy that just draws you in.
Yeah.
Whether she's talking about her marriage or just sharing her perspective on life, there's this underlying sense of joy and gratitude.
Right.
That's incredibly inspiring.
It's a reminder that happiness is often a choice. A perspective we can cultivate within ourselves. Sheryl's story encourages us to face life's challenges with grace and determination, finding the joy in the journey itself.
I love that. As we wrap up our deep dive into Sheryl Lee Ralph's life and approach, what lessons do you think we can take away from her unique path and love career and just life in general?
Well, I think she really highlights the importance of staying true to ourselves, following our passions, and not being afraid to challenge the status quo.
Absolutely. It's about forging our own paths, even if they look different from what society expects. And maybe, just maybe, it's about finding those moments of joy and fulfillment in every step we take.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So for our listeners out there, remember Sheryl's words. Life is good, especially when you're living it on your own terms. Now, I know we've been focusing on Sheryl's choices, but this whole conversation got me thinking. We often talk about finding the right person when it comes to relationships. But what if it's less about finding and more about creating? Creating the right kind of dynamic with someone.
Now, that's an interesting concept. It shifts the focus from searching for a perfect match to actually building a partnership that aligns with the unique needs and aspirations of both individuals.
Yeah, it really does change your whole perspective, doesn't it? Like maybe instead of looking for someone who checks all the boxes, it's more about finding someone who's willing to create those boxes with you.
I like that.
To build a connection that truly works for both of you.
It's about moving away from that idea of a pre-packaged perfect relationship.
Right.
And embracing the possibility of designing something unique.
Yeah.
Something that reflects your individual values and needs as a couple.
Exactly. And maybe that means letting go of some of those preconceived notions about what a successful relationship should look like.
It requires open communication, self-awareness, and willingness to challenge those societal norms.
Because shouldn't the goal be to create a partnership that brings you joy, support, and a deep sense of fulfillment?
Absolutely. And the beautiful thing is that can look completely different for every couple.
Right.
The key is finding what truly works for the individuals involved.
And that's what makes Sheryl and Vincent's story so powerful.
It is.
They've shown us that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to love and partnership.
Right.
They've challenged the traditional model and created a dynamic that allows them to thrive, both as individuals and as a couple.
They're the testament to the fact that you can have a long-lasting, loving relationship, even if you don't share the same zip code.
It's a beautiful reminder that love can take so many forms.
It can.
And sometimes those unconventional paths lead to the most fulfilling destinations.
Their story is truly inspiring.
It is. So as we wrap up our deep dive into Sheryl Lee Ralph's extraordinary life and marriage, what's the one big takeaway for our listeners today?
I think the core message here is to embrace your individuality.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to question those societal norms and challenge those expectations.
Right.
Design a life, a career, and yes, even a relationship that truly reflects your values and brings you genuine happiness.
Beautifully said. So to everyone listening out there, remember Sheryl's words, life is good, especially when you're brave enough to forge your own path and create your own version of happiness.